Dunedin is known as a student city, and education in all forms generates millions of dollars for the local economy. The Dunedin City Council is part of a drive to increase the value of education, in part by attracting more foreign students. The Council's Export Education Co-ordinator, Gauthier, is here to tell us all about it. Good evening, Sarah. Tell us about the Council's Export Education Strategy.
The Export Education Strategy is part of Dunedin's economic development strategy, a key pillar to drive the value of international education up. And our aim is to grow, uplift and enable Dunedin's international education sector. So that comprises a tertiary sector, secondary schools, as well as private businesses involved in education technology businesses, as well as private training enterprises. So it's quite comprehensive.
Is it a new strategy?
It's a new strategy, kind of built out of the Dunedin's economic development strategy, and I've been in the position since February 17th, moving it forward.
Why is it a good time for Dunedin to be jumping on this bandwagon?
Listen, Rebecca, there's never been a better time to be involved in international education. The world, New Zealand, and now our local government are completely focused on driving up the value of international education, as well as the other benefits that international students can bring. The culture, the knowledge, the movement of students can really bring a profile to New Zealand and Dunedin like no other effect. Those people-to-people links are so important, and by driving more students into Dunedin, we can have a better visibilities offshore.
How much is international education worth to the economy at the moment?
It's huge. International education is worth over $165 million to Otago's economy. It's 6% of our GDP, and it's New Zealand's 5th largest export earner.
How much more could it be worth?
We're hoping to double the value of international education to $330 million by 2023, and this again ties in with Dunedin's 10-year strategy to drive growth to the city in a sustainable way.
So what other organisations are you working with to do that?
We're working with, obviously, the city's educational providers are our key stakeholders, as well as education businesses. We're working with the Dunedin City Council, and then within the Grow Partnership, which are the people behind kind of the Dunedin's economic development strategy, but we're also working with central government, so people like Education New Zealand, and of course we're working hopefully more closely down the track with some of our delegations with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Trade.
So what are the ideas that you're going to develop to increase the value?
Basically, there are 6 key projects that we have in a strategic plan for 2014-2015. First and foremost is brand development. So Project Export Education Uplift has a brand name now with Study Dunedin, and that will have assets for web, print, and video, again, to better tell our story as an international education destination and source of expertise to the world. And there are other key projects to support our institutions to better understand where value can come from and how we can work collaboratively to drive that growth forward.
Are we leading the way for export education in this country?
Well, I'd like to think so, but Auckland, Wellington, and Christchurch have really strong kind of local international education strategies that leverage off the national strategy from Education New Zealand. So we're building on a lot of good work that's done at the national level, at a regional focus now, and also working on what our institutions are doing. The University of Otago, Otago Polytechnic, our secondary schools, our primary schools, our private training enterprises are all actively engaged in attracting international students and working on internationalization strategies. So this is just another part of that channel to bring more visibility to Dunedin as an international education destination and source of expertise. So it's really exciting.
Do the international students bring any other benefits?
They certainly do. So it's a cosmopolitan vibrancy they bring to our classrooms. It's the connections they bring from their home countries. It gives Dunedin students a chance to learn more about the world. In addition to that, for those students that graduate and want to work in Dunedin or Otago, they're export ready. These students are incredibly capable and willing, able, and in a very special way to contribute to Dunedin's growth.
Dunedin City Council Export Education Co-ordinator Gauthier, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me.